Today's topic: elitism. Um, I got this inkling for an idea, right? I got this little idea because I I hate the internet. I hate the internet as much as I love the internet. And just to preface, like I said, I love the internet, but I see a lot of people like act in ways in which I don't understand, which doesn't bother me. It's not the not understanding part that bothers me, but I also see a lot of people playing themselves up and having pride, the having an overt sense of pride that really just rubs me the wrong way. So I've come to knock on the door of elitism and point out there are you know subtle there are subtle ways to be an elitist, and in my worldview, the way I see things, right? There are subtle and overt ones. I clearly detest the overt ones, but the subtle ones, I like the subtle ones kind of irk me more when I realize they're happening. So, like for example, like a lot of people that listen to metal are subtly elite about their or subtly elitist in their ways because of how they talk about other genres of music. They'll be like, "Oh, I never listened to that kind of stuff. It wasn't it just wasn't my pace, or it wasn't." And I mean, that's not inherently like what I'm talking about, but what I am talking about is like people overtly like overtly saying that something doesn't have value because it doesn't fulfill the same niches, like there's some sort of shame in being multifaceted, right? And they think their expertise on something gives them any more right to have an opinion than anybody else, right? Now I get it with subjectivity that there's going to be a certain amount of contention with essentially everything. But that being said, it's like, yeah, you know a lot about something, but I mean at the same time, look at the world you're missing out on, you know. And this kind of has like a snowball thing where it starts small and then you can get to broader topics. So, like, I'll use myself for an example, right? So, I like movies, I like music, I like books, and I like artwork, right? But I don't like them equally. And so, my love for music and my love for movies supersedes my love for literature and my love for art. So, those two areas indubitably do suffer, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say that my love for movies makes movies any better than literature, because there's a lot of really great literature, and there's a lot of really great literature that hasn't been expressed on screen, and even screenplay adaptations of popular novelizations, you know, they don't always fulfill the author's original intended message, right? Or it doesn't do it as well, right? So there's that. But these elitists, they think that, what they like, or, what they're intrigued by is the, definitive go go to, right? And that anything else outside of that is inherently not worth caring about. That's why as a creator, I want to try to make something, you know, not like every type of everything, but I want to create something. Like I'd like to have a movie made someday, even if it's a short film. Um and I have a lot of respect for a lot of types of mediums. So when it comes to literature, I like comic books. But I guess my favorite, I guess I guess what I know the most about, I guess, would be like epic poetry, but I wouldn't say I enjoy that the most. It just happens to be like I've being a linguist and everything, I know the most about a lot of the epics. I could tell you a lot about Beowulf, and not just on a linguistic standpoint, but I've picked up on the narrative. I've picked up on the narrative, even though I've never really read Beowulf for understanding. Like, I have a very baseline understanding. I haven't equated this epic to, like, what could it mean? Like, I had one conversation with one of my professors about how it, like, how Beowulf was shaped by the various dialects of Old English, and how um it was significant in that it displayed the dialectical differences in Old English, because it was, oral tradition, right? So people spoke, and then they carried this on, to try to amalgamate the story of Beowulf. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I would know the most about that, but it wouldn't be my favorite. What do I consider my favorite? I'm boring. I like nonfiction books, right? Are nonfiction books the peak of creativity? No. No, God. And I'll admit there's a lot of books in my life I just won't read because they're fiction. Not because I think fiction is bad or anything. It's just, personally, I don't find any use in reading fiction, right? And if I do, I have to have some reason, right? So, like Douglas Fairbanks Jr. has The Salad Days, right? Mac DeMarco. That's why I've read The Salad Days, right? Um, generally, I read a lot of stuff that's associated with topics I care about. So, if something is about, like, I don't know, it has some sort of scientific backing, I guess. Not like I don't know, it doesn't have to be like 100% scientific, but like if someone wrote something about a plague that didn't exist, right? Or they came up with a fictional illness or something, created a background where it's like the world has been ravished by this. Not zombie story. I do like a good zombie story, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like, some like Black Death shit, like a Pesta Nera, right? So, I mean, I'm more apt to read stories like that, or with like a historical background. Although I have a really weird relationship with historical fiction. I haven't read too much of it because I don't like the deviations. I prefer history to stay history. But I mean, it is cool to like think to yourself, what if? But I mean, at the same time, most of the alternate history stuff that comes out is, rehashes of other what if questions. So like, what if Germany won World War II? I think that's probably the biggest what if. What if 9/11 never happened? A lot of these casual what ifs, and I mean, a lot of the really niche stuff hasn't been explored, I would say. And I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I have never heard of or never will hear of that does satisfy that. And yeah. So again, that's another problem I have with elitism, where it's like, you think you have the best taste in whatever, right? Or you think you're well versed in something, and then there's a bunch of stuff you just have never heard of, right? And there is stuff that generally tickles, that just, you can't help but love it, right? Ivan the Terrible and his son Ivan, that painting, like, is very, very rich, you know. And I'm not an arts guy. Like, I don't like, I don't know very much about art. I know color theory, but only because it's theoretical. If something's based in theory, I can grasp it better. Something based in words, shocker. But, yeah, I'm not like a big arts guy. it has nothing to do with liking it or not. It's just like I'm not well versed. I know people like Andy Warhol and Vincent Van Gogh, but like in terms of yeah, I know this obscure artist. Like no, no. Um. Oh shit. A lot of the paintings I am familiar with, I'm familiar with because of music, or just randomly stumbling upon it. And I'm sure there are a bunch of art elitists out there, but I can't really think of any because I'm not in those circles. So I'm not gonna be forthright and make any presumptions. But no, seriously, there are pretty much elitists in everything, and that's such a damning thing because to hold your own opinion above someone else's to such an extent that it deters you away from not being friendly but being present, I guess, like being present in conversation, being completely absent because all this person likes something that is generally considered basic, right? Um, my favorite Third Eye Blind album is their first album, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that listen to them that's like, oh, Blue's so much better. And sure, yeah, Blue can be better. Shout out Thousand Julys, what a great song. But like yeah, because I haven't listened to Blue or Out of the Vein as much as I've listened to the first record, then it's like these people would disregard my opinion. And it's like, eh, why? Like, and I think elitism is more harmful on a broader scale. So, people love attaching themselves to labels like metalhead when they're not really a good thing. That would be like I don't know. That would be like just labeling someone something because of their expertise. Like, um, yeah, trying to think of a pertinent example. So a guy spends his entire life, he becomes an expert, he becomes a doctor. Like he's gonna be known as a doctor, right? But he's also got a wife, he's got children, he's a family man, he's a good, upstanding person. Maybe he plays a guitar on his days off, or he's like a surgeon and he builds models, to keep the hand steadiness. So I think now when you're a doctor, obviously that's not elitism or not not in the traditional sense. Of course, experts are going to be like semi-elitists because they're experts, right? But I mean the snobbishness behind it, where it's like I only like this because it speaks to me the most, and it's that really real close mindedness, you know to be known as that, right? For a long time I was known like by people in my general area. Like I was known as the guy that like spoke languages and everything, and it's like, there's a lot more to me than that, right? Like I make websites, I make music, I make a lot of media, and I really enjoy making media, not for any profit or anything. It's just I enjoy doing it, and I'm okay making bad things or making low fidelity things because one, I like the lo-fi stuff, and it works in my benefit because it's an actual like verifiable excuse and something that like actually contributes to my like anti perfectionist but like also semi perfectionist sort of thing, where it's like I want this to be as good as I can without overdoing it. But yeah, so I really like media, and I really like making just to make. But yeah, to live with a label like that forever is so jarring to me, and how people can accept it. Of course, that's not my decision to make, and maybe I just overthink or overdo everything. But um, yeah, I just couldn't imagine living like that. And yeah, that's my you know speech for the day, I guess. But yeah, subtle elitism where people, pick an overly basic choice for something when they're more in depth. It's like micro gatekeeping, doing it on purpose. People that avoid that sort of thing where they avoid talking about their topics, not out of insecurity, but because they're insecure about other people, attaining knowledge, I guess. They want to feel like they want to feel special in that, and it's like yeah, everybody's special in their own right, but if you wanted to be more secure in your understanding, then you would have broadened your horizons, because that takes real effort. The deep dive on things, it's a little hard to push past the initial filter of like, can I grasp this topic? Like, for me, physics is one of those things. I don't perfectly understand pretty much anything. There's nothing I have a perfect understanding of, but physics is one of those topics where it's like I understand the basic concepts, but I have a lot of barriers to my understanding. I detest math. I'm horrible at mathematics. I think mathematics is a great art. I think it's a phenomenal discipline. I think mathematics is probably like I think mathematics is the proof that we took the next step into intelligence. The fact that we can do such sophisticated reasoning with mathematics. I think it's really impressive. I think mathematics is beautiful. I suck at mathematics. But I also understand that I use mathematics a lot, like in music, or even grammar as a discipline has a lot of mathematics in it, because yeah, I don't want to speak in terms of syntax, but I mean number and word order, and definite articles, indefinite articles. There's some math to be had there, or like cases. Cases are a perfect example. I didn't think of cases. I'm an English speaker. We don't have cases in the language. We do have inflections, but we don't have cases. But or we don't normally have cases. There are some words that have retained their archaic casing system, but that's few and far between. But yeah, yeah. So there are a lot of things that have a mathematic background, but yeah, my limited understanding of mathematics holds me back in physics, right? But I think it's important to say you don't know, right? Like, I've been playing guitar for a long time. I've been playing guitar for a while, not quite half of my life, but I've been playing guitar for a while. And there's a lot of shit I can't do, and I'm not that good at it. Like, am I past the filter? Am I past the filter of people that they learn to play a few chords, or they learn to play a few licks? Yeah, like I can articulate myself, and I write a lot of music. I write a lot of my own music, right? And so, I mean, there's that. There's something to say for that. But at the same time, there is, like I said, a lot of stuff I can't do, and even the world's best guitarists, like, people are coming up with new ways to play the guitar, and it is hard to keep up with everything all the time. But it's like, I mean, I could be afraid of that knowledge, or I could be insecure about it, but to just respect it, I guess. And someday I could be pushed in the direction to learn a lot of things that I don't know, or I could accept that maybe certain things aren't my thing. Like, why do I need to learn how to do, like, sweep pinch harmonics? Why do I need to do sweep? I guess I could do a sweep pinch harmonic, I guess, because I can sweep pick and do pinch harmonics. But I don't know if I could do pinches the entire way. I don't know if I could do pinch harmonics the entire way through. But yeah, like, why do I need to do, like, intense tapping? Well, my hands are small, so there's that. But I don't use a lot of tapping. I think there might be a couple Cascade songs with marginal amounts of tapping. But yeah, I could be afraid of that, and I could disrespect the people that know how to do those things, or I could respect it and show some deference. Show some deference to the people that put so much time into the craft. The people that are better than me with less time, people that are more naturally gifted, I could show deference to that. And in such cases, I will opt to do that. Um, when I was younger, I used to get really insecure about people playing guitar, and like if someone in my class was a guitar player, I'd maybe try to get the one up on them. Uh, but I don't need to do that anymore. I don't feel that need. I don't think it's useful, and I don't want to be that. And oftentimes people are oftentimes better than me. Even in my hometown, they're way better musicians, way better guitar players than me. That's okay. There's a place for me, right? And that's all that matters. No one writes the songs I write. Uh, Not because they're necessarily high quality, but they're me, right? Do I think people could arrange songs similar to me? Yeah, yeah. It's not exactly hard to write a Cascade song, but yeah. Just to be okay with that and not be afraid, to not be afraid of being below someone, or not all like trying to not always put yourself above other people. It's good, you know. You don't need to be the focal point all the time. That's why I detest elitism. I guess it's this. I need to be the center. I need to be the center of your attention because I'm versed in something. When you don't have that right, you don't have that. You don't have that. You're not entitled to that respect. I guess. I guess knowledge itself should be respected. I do respect knowledge. I respect knowledge generally. I respect pretty much all forms of knowledge. I'm pretty sure there is some useless knowledge out there, but I respect knowledge generally. Um, but that being said, trying to force your thinking onto other people, and trying to force people to see you in some light, trying to get people to think you're a genius, probably one of the biggest atrocities you can commit as a person. you know and there's a difference. I use myself as an example. I guess I would be an example. I make a lot of movie references, and I make a lot of subtle movie references. You know, but I mean, I'm not overt. I'm not overtly trying to shit on other people who haven't seen the same movies I am, because George Carlin in fucking Jersey Girl. What the hell's the matter with you? And Jersey Girl got shit on. It got shit on, right? People said it's a horrible movie. I like a lot of Kevin Smith movies. I don't really care, but yeah, things like that. I'm not trying to be an elitist, or when people talk about things, I chime in, with my 2 cents. But if if I don't know something, then I can't contribute. It's equally as important to just listen, right? Like people that travel a lot. I've done no traveling in my life, and not. It's a bad thing to me, but I mean there are a lot of people that don't travel, and it's fine, right? You can't always do it, but yeah, there are a lot of people that travel a lot. People that are into things like cosmetics. I'm not into cosmetics. I don't take care of myself, period. I eat like crap. I've gained a lot of weight. So I'm this pudgy, scraggly old guy with unkept hair. My hair looks good, but my hair naturally looks good, right? I buy good shampoo, but I don't necessarily go through a bunch of effort to take care of myself, right? I guess brushing my teeth would be the only exception. I take care of my teeth. I try to take pretty good care of my teeth. But like people that are into things like cosmetics, generally beautiful people, right? It's people that like, oh, I have like a 40-minute skincare routine. It's like, oh my god, you're gorgeous, right? Like they know so much shit that I don't. And it's not like, oh yeah, I know your hair is made of keratin, right? And that your nails are made of chitin. Like that kind of knowledge serves no purpose. It's like, how do I make these things look good? I don't know. Like, cause I don't, right? I chew my fingernails. My fingernails are beat to hell. My hands in general are beat to hell from guitar playing and washing dishes at work, and um, my my I mean my hands don't necessarily look too terrible, but they're coarse. They're not exactly delicate, right? They can be. Like I don't have like surgical precision. Like my hands are generally shaky, but I can be delicate, but they're not exactly. They're not. I don't exactly strive for that. And so these people, I have no dog in any of these conversations, and that's okay, right? The kind of knowledge I have doesn't encompass those things, and that's okay, right? I'm not perfect. I'm not a Renaissance man. There are Renaissance people out there. There are so many fucking brilliant people out there. I can't stress, like like I would never attribute even even I guess I'll say when, because I can't see myself giving up like what I do. So when I become fluent in the languages I become fluent in, and I write my dissertation, I finish my novel project, those things. When I do those things, like I still won't be a genius because I was never a genius. I was never intended to be a genius. Do geniuses exist? Yeah. Um, like IQ, right? People talk about IQ a lot, and I was arguing with this guy on Twitter. I'm not calling it fucking X. Fuck you, Elon. Yeah, fuck you, Elon. I'm not calling it X. Um, I was arguing with this guy on Twitter, and one of his insults was, "You are a 100 IQ person," and I'm not going to overtly call him an idiot. Um, but yeah, it's like that's really telling of who you are as a person, and I don't. I'm not fucking 100 IQ. It's one. I don't think IQ. I very critical of intelligence questioning because intelligence questioning. I'm going to be inherently skeptical of any intelligence testing that comes out because it's going to be catered to the creators, and people have different types of intelligence. I could tell you pretty much what all the chord inversions are and where to start them, and I can tell you where I can tell you a bunch about music theory. As for technicality, like I can't play a lot of the stuff I write for piano. I can't play pretty much anything I write for the piano. You could play a tone. I'm not sure I'd always get it. My ear's pretty good. It's not that great though. Um, but yeah, there's that, and yeah. So there's different types of intelligences there, right? And all people are like that. It's very hard to suck at everything, and humans are generally intelligent creatures. I say that with a grain of salt, but yeah, I don't know how I got here from elitism, but yeah, yeah, I detest intelligence testing, and I mean, yeah, that guy put such an emphasis on such an arbitrary thing. It's like you really think you are the center of the world, like, or at least that's the impression I get, because it's like you are a 100 IQ fuel, and or no, he was Finnish. He was Finnish. I'd have to do a Finnish accent. I don't know what Finnish people sound like, thank God. No, I'm just kidding. I love Suomi. I love Finland. Um, Helsingborg, here I come. But, uh, yeah, he's like, you are 100 IQ. And I was talking about Occam's razor, and he said I explained it wrong, which I didn't, you know. He said I explained it wrong, and I clearly did not. I clearly did not. And, he called me a sued, and it's like, how much projection can you do in one conversation? Like, that's the type of elitism I detest. I hate. I've started using the word detest more because I picked up more French. And to say they dislike something, they use the word detest. But I absolutely detest that, like, projection and elitism. It's like, my IQ is higher than yours, so I'm right and you're wrong. And it's like, oh, okay, dude, even if your IQ was higher than mine, then, you know, that you have no defensible argument, right? So, yeah, there's that, and I guess that's my whole thing here. It's like general elitism is so stupid, you know, and all types of elitism. I encourage you, branch out, see things, do things, you know. Become more generally tolerant of things that are different to what you are used to, you know. You know, you spend your entire life playing Call of Duty, pick up Super Mario 64, pick up fucking, pick up Peggle, right? Listen to, what is it, Morning? I think Morning is the compositor. Do 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 do. Yeah, you know, or even within your own genre, you know, you've played fucking Candy Crush your entire life. Play Bejeweled, or play Dr. Mario, or like play Tetris or something like that. You know, simple. It's a very simple thing, right? You know, you spent your entire life reading European literature, read something from Africa or read something from Asia. Um, you know, and I guess this goes to me. Like, you know, I've spent most of my life in the United States. Now, do I want to travel? Yeah, I've spent my entire life in the United States. Go see the world. Go do things. Go see things even in the United States. You know, don't be comfortable just planting and just living like that, right? You've spent your entire life listening to metal or country music, you know. Listen to some avant-garde stuff, man. Listen to some jazz. No, I actually don't do that because people that listen to jazz are assholes, myself included. But, I was kidding. I was kidding. It was a joke. But, no, seriously, like, I encourage everyone to broaden their horizons, and I'm not telling you to like things, but, I mean, just don't be that guy, man. Don't be that guy that's like that, you know. I bring up I go to I'm talking to people and I bring up like, "Oh yeah, I really like that book on 1984." And this guy's like, "Oh, that's fucking socialist literature, man. That fucking sucks. It's horrible, man. You know, I only read like I don't know what fucking people read. 1984 is too good of a book to be critiqued. It's actually not true, but I don't know. Like I only read like old fiction, man. I only read the classics. Oh, that's me, by the way. That's me. I'm that person. I don't only read classics, but the majority of what I read are classics because they're pertinent to like my historical. You know, I love history and everything. So, but you know, I don't shit on things that aren't classics. I just don't read them. um. So yeah, I guess I am. I guess I am a hypocrite in that way. But I have read modern books, and I like a lot of modern books. So like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and Available by Madison Perry. Oh, who the fuck authored A Tree Grows in Brooklyn? Smith. It's something Smith. But yeah, you know I've read. So I have read modern books and like them. It's just not my go-to. So. Kind of a hypocrite, kind of not a hypocrite. I don't outright absolutely decline to read anything modern, but I just have to have a reason, you know. So yeah, don't be that guy, you know. expand your horizons. Don't shit on things that are different. Um, I have that habit too, or sometimes I outwardly shit on things like you know, I haven't always said things I'm proud of about certain things that don't align with my interests in certain ways. Not because they're bad or don't deserve recognition. It's just like my unfamiliarity with the topic causes me to stumble over it, and I guess it would be easier for me to say something that doesn't actually align with what something is, right? So like I'll try to find an example here. So like the Mass Effect, or no, I love Mass Effect too much, and I haven't hurled insults at Mass Effect. Um, I guess it would be like the Souls games. I've never played the Souls games. I'm never going to play the Souls games. I tried. I think it was like Dark Souls 3. My brother was playing it, and I like picked up the controller. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. So, like me, I don't know anything about the Souls games, so it's easy for me to be like, oh, they're not that hard. Not that I've ever said that. Like, I know they're hard games, but it's like, it's not really my thing. I do like certain hard games, but like, yeah, I mean, Cuphead and fucking Hollow Knight are awesome. Fuck yeah. But like at the same time, it's also like I have never played the Souls game, so it's easy for me to be erroneous in my assumptions of them. And yeah, just don't be that person. Yeah. But that's my talk today. Yeah, expand your horizons. I detest elitism. Uh, that's all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm extremely tired and I haven't uploaded in a minute. Because I've legitimately been busy every day for over a week. It's fucking crazy. I'm going to be busy today. I work tonight, but I wanted to get this in because I realized I kind of was neglecting. I don't have an upload schedule, but you know, I don't want to start an upload schedule, but I'd like to upload, you know, at least like once a week or something. And I have a shit post idea coming up here soon, so expect like a 10-minute long shit post. And yeah, I've been recording music. I'm probably gonna take everything off of Spotify. Nothing against Spotify or everything. It's just I want a website where I can put all my music and like yeah, I want a website I can put all of my music and like I don't know, have it be accessible and free, right? And something I can cross reference, but I use Google Sites and yeah, I did a lot of the coding myself, but I can't embed like zip files for people to download. And I understand why. I totally understand why. Like if you could embed downloads on links and shit, like so many people would like be scammed and shit through like websites made with Google Sites. At the same time, I'm not trying to do that. I want people to have access to my music, and I don't want them to have to use fucking Dropbox. Also, I'm not paying for the fucking Dropbox thing. Fuck you. Um, the whole Dropbox thing, I have a lot of music. Um, yeah, I have a lot of music. So, there's that. What I could do, I could create a Cascade YouTube channel and start uploading my albums. But the problem there is you only get 10 uploads a day. I would have to compile those videos. So I would have to create the timestamps. I'm too fucking lazy to do that. I could use BandLab and God bless BandLab. I think BandLab's an amazing service. I speak my praises of BandLab. They're fucking greedy. They're greedy. They put ads everywhere now. Fucking annoys the shit out of me. But yeah, there's BandLab. I could do that. And so yeah, BandLab's always an option. Bandcamp is an option. The only problem again there is that I would have to make everything a FLAC files, and I like I said, I have a lot of music, so it would be huge. I don't have the space. Like, I don't have the space, and I'm not concerned about quality. I'm concerned for the quality of the songs. I like writing good songs. I like writing songs people enjoy listening to, but I'm not. I don't really care much for audio quality. So, oh god, hold on. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm on. I'm sleep deprived. But, um, yeah, shit. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I'm not so much concerned with audio quality, but it's like I do want somewhere I can do this, but if I could just have everything in a zip file, it like it would just be so much easier that way. But then again, I have so much stuff on Spotify, and DistroKid has been so great to me. So we will see. But yeah, until next time, I'm Evan. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. I've got two albums. I uploaded Letters from the Oasis. I recorded another album, and I'm in the middle of recording another one, and then I'm going to record an album called Farewell to Alms. I've got the song titles down, and I know what I'm going to write the songs about. I just need to figure out the wording. So, figure out the lyrics. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace.